Round in a normal order, as we would after a post game, and then we're going to do some questions on Newcastle under embargo. I'll explain that when we get to it. So we'll start with Adam when you're ready.
Hiya, Jesse.
Hi.
Hiya, Jesse. Look, no disgrace to lose to Manchester City, but in possession, how poor were you tonight for a lot of that game?
Well, I think in the first half, we were stable defensively, and we won a lot of balls. But then we almost, because we were a little nervy, we were so quick to just give it away. And so that was the message, and was going to be the message at halftime, is that we're pretty stable. They're having a hard time breaking us down, the tactics of what we're trying to do against the ball, but we could stay on the ball. And I wanted to show, I showed a few scenes where when we won balls, that they actually from behind weren't pressuring us, and we had more time than we thought. If we were able to get into second half and do that better, then maybe, and at 0-0, then maybe we could find ourselves in a match. And then obviously, then the second goal is a tough mistake, and that now makes the challenge that much harder. However, then you saw us coming into the game more, right? And this is part of the being brave, is at 2-0, 3-0, then okay, we have nothing to lose. But what I really wanted to see us is play like that from the beginning, right? Where we were brave on the ball, where we were making good dynamic movements and connections with the ball and trying to unbalance them as much as they were trying to unbalance us. But obviously there's a quality issue in the match, and they're very good, and they have a lot of good players, and it winds up being a little bit of a battle of attrition.
Willie Monta, I think, showed bravery throughout the night.
Yeah.
Why is it that others don't do that when you clearly needed that?
It's about understanding roles and connections, and even when they're in it's tight spaces and they're pressing us in certain areas, that we know what the next options are and the connections are clear. And then, that the decisions on the ball and the calmness to make the next play is better. It was obviously not easy to watch when we were just doing pretty well and pretty stable and just kind of giving them the ball back every time we won it. But, this is where we need to get better.
Mateusz Klich was involved in the end tonight, but didn't start. Cody Drummer wasn't involved at all. You've talked quite a lot about them lately. Jesse, can we read anything into that and about their futures tonight?
No, Clicky was sick last week, and if he wouldn't have been, he would have been a candidate to start the match. And then Cody has been playing really well, but with both Rasmus and Luke right now at right back, he's challenging, I think, both of those players and how he's performing. But then when we looked at the makeup of the squad, that was the decision that Cody was out. But been really happy with Cody, really happy.
Look, the chairman's talked a lot about investment being needed at the club. Literally in the last 24 hours, Jesse, I don't need to see the quotes, but how much of that would you like to see now?
Well, he told me that interview was done a couple months ago, right? And that was just recently released, and it becomes a talking point. For me, Andrea's been supportive and with us and behind us every step along the way, So I'm thankful for my relationship with him. He's helped this club immensely over the 6.5 years or however long it is. So I think everybody should have a very high appreciation for the work that he's done and the investment that he's made.
And finally, any injury worries tonight going ahead?
No, I think we came out of it okay. Some of the decisions we made were to protect guys a little bit, to make sure that with the quick turnaround in a busy couple weeks that we can turn around quickly. So I think, and Cree, we just felt like we didn't want to push because we wanted to not risk him, and the same with Jack Harrison.
Yep. Things haven't been dropping for Joe Gelhardt quite this season, and he's not been able to play a huge amount. What does he need to do, and what do you need to do?
Well, I think, first of all, he's had a really good last 4 weeks. And we had an individual meeting with him 2 days ago, and we told him that. I thought today when he came into the match, he was dangerous, and he was effective, and he was intensive, and he had a real positive effect in the match. So pleased with him, and it was really unlucky for him, specifically in the one that slides past the second post, that he wasn't able to come away with a goal.
Do you feel you found something in the 4-3-3 that's worth persisting with?
Yeah, I think the flexibility it gives us against the ball to be variable. It can look like a diamond sometimes. It can look like 4-2-2-2. It can look like a 4-3-3. It can look like a Christmas tree. It can look like different things based on what we want to achieve with what the opponent's trying to do. So, they get 3 on the day. So obviously to say it was great isn't accurate, but you know when you play these games that the opponent's quality is so good. So, but I feel like we're making progress, and we have to stay laser focused on our process, right? I know what it's like. The games get going, the matches get going, and the table gets hectic, and we just have to really stay focused on ourselves and stay in the moment and be totally concentrated on improving.
How tight was it with Haaland tonight? Was he always going to play?
Yeah, I think it was not that tight. He looked to be recovering really well. All the tests we had with him about 5-6 days ago were all in line with what we thought, and I thought his performance was outstanding. So it's good.
A lot's been made of Erling, your relationship with him. What have you said to each other tonight on the pitch at full time?
Yeah, I'm just really happy for him. You know, I mean, you know, in some ways, watching him score is painful. I want him in a different kit. But when you know some of these young men and you see their qualities as people, you just want them to be their best, just not against you. But my gosh, I'm happy for him, and he's such a great person. Really, really happy for him.
Thank you.
Phil?
The players must have covered a lot of ground tonight. What will the next couple of days look like, given that you've got...
Yeah, regenerations. It'll be about trying to get the players like Jack and Cree and some of the others closer to being real match ready, and then about recovering the others so that we can go again. And you know, we pushed training over the last 4 weeks so that our fitness levels would be high, so we'd be ready for this. So I think we will be. It's obviously not the best situation. You know when the schedule comes out and then they change our match day and then we know we have 3 days rest and Newcastle has 5. And by the way, Newcastle and us are the 2 most intensive teams in the league. We know that then the turnaround is going to be really important and the demand is going to be high for us. A lot of respect for the way that Newcastle plays. And the results that they've got and the job that the manager's done. So we know that we're in for another really tough match at their place come Saturday.
Can I see hands if there's any other questions before we move on to Newcastle?
That was a good segue.
Yeah, perfect.